ask us how we feed 800 people every day. And today's lesson, we want to actually show you how we feed 800 people. And we're in one of the vegetable gardens right here. We grow 63 kinds of vegetables, 40 kinds of herbs, and 19 kinds of tropical fruit. And so today we'll talk about how we feed 800 people. One of the ways that we feed the soil so that soil can feed us is by making compost. And we make compost by the fast thermal method. And the guys are turning the compost today. And it's just about finished. You can see that it's nice and dark, and it smells really sweet. And this is one of the primary things we use to feed the soil so that the soil can feed us. This is our permaculture project. And with this project, we produce between 2 and 3 tons of fruit and vegetables every month of the year. We can grow things year-round in Zimbabwe, and we grow some unusual things. We mix herbs and vegetables and fruits together in plant communities. And this is how we produce our own fertilizer, our own pesticides. We do all kinds of things. We're in the tropics, and so this is a lemon tree. You can see the nice big lemons on this one. The hot peppers we're growing here, we use in our backache rub at the clinic. And so the heat that's in these peppers, and these are really hot ones at bird's eyes, the heat in these peppers actually warms the skin when it's in an ointment. And so we've got the hot peppers here, and then we grow some really weird stuff like these tree tomatoes. You can come around here and I'll show you the fruit of this one. It looks a little bit like a Roma tomato, and it's just kind of a quirky thing, but they're very tasty. And these little trees are just about a year old, and this is just one of the things that we grow here. One of the staple vegetables here in Zimbabwe, something that people eat twice a day, is rape. And this is rape. It's a non-heading cabbage. It's very dark. You can see the leaves are full of chlorophyll. It's a very nutritious green, full of calcium. It's an excellent food. What the African people do with this, they'll chop it up and boil it. They'll stir it in with tomatoes and onions that have been cooked in oil, and once they mix all of these vegetables together, they call it relish. And the relish is just one of those foods that they want to have every day. And so that's what this is. And over here we have another fruit that you're probably not familiar with, is the grenadilla. And it's passion fruit. Okay, this one is the passion fruit, or the grenadilla. It's a fruit that has a lot of seeds in it, but it's really sweet and really tangy, and it's very, very nice. The reason it's called passion flower is the flower parts actually tell the story of Christ's crucifixion and resurrection. And it's just kind of a beautiful thing. But this is another one of the fruits that we grow here that's an important food source. Okay, this is a papaya, and this is one of our favorite fruits. It's one of those that comes on in the winter time by the ton. You can see they're quite large. They have a flavor somewhere between, if you could mix the flavors of a peach and a cucumber. That's what these things taste like. Now this little tree is just loaded with fruit, and this little tree is only 10 months old from seed. And so it's a tree that grows very, very quickly, makes very, very nice fruit, and it's one of the things we really enjoy here in Zimbabwe. Another crop that we grow here in Zimbabwe are bananas. And these little bananas are ladyfingers, and they're very sweet and very lemony. They got lots of flavor. And we grow quite a few of these, several tons a year. And surprisingly, bananas stick up in the air. They don't hang down. And but they are really tasty, and we just love these things. Another food that we really enjoy here in Zimbabwe are avocados. And the avos on this tree are actually quite big. They call them avocado pears. This one produces avocados that can weigh up to 4 pounds. And for those of you that like guacamole, we eat a lot of it. And it's a wonderful thing to have all these avos. One of the things we have to do to produce food for 800 people, we have to start a lot of seedlings. And so we try and start about 2,500 a week in our little greenhouse here. So come on, we'll go to the greenhouse. One of the things we have here is a propagation house. And what a propagation house is for, we've got beds of sand here we can take cuttings off of certain things, stick them in the sand, they'll grow roots, and then we pot them up and then plant them out on the farm. We do a lot of figs this way. There's rosemary, some of the wood herbs that are woody. We can grow here in the propagation house. So this is an important part of our food production. And then I want to show you here in the greenhouse. Come on around the corner. We'll take a look. Here we've started cabbages. We started about 9 flats. There's 144 plants in each flat, so you can do the math. It's a lot of cabbage, but we eat a lot of cabbage. So this production is very important. The plants are grown in compost, which is full of bacteria and beneficial fungus. The plants do very well on it, and then the plants are grown on carpet. And so when it's time to water, we flood the carpet, and the plants pull the moisture up from underneath. And that way all the nutrition in the soil stays in the soil. And so we can get a plant ready for production in 45 days rather than 65 days. And so this system really works for us. The other way we use our greenhouse is we grow a lot of tomatoes and cucumbers in here. And these are our winter tomatoes. They're just getting started, but they'll end up growing clear up across the ceiling. And we'll get lots of tomatoes. We have 5 different varieties here, and the cucumbers are in the ground. They just haven't come up yet, but they're an important part of our diet here as well. Behind me is the Gwinnira Dam, and it's a section of the Rakuti River that's been dammed up. This dam holds about 3.5 trillion gallons of water. When all the farms were in full production here, it was a 3-year supply. So we've got water for irrigation, which allows us to grow things year-round, and we really count on that. The dam is also full of fish, and so we get beautiful bass, bream or tilapia, and there's some catfish in there, and it's a source of recreation for us. But we can't swim in it. It's full of bacteria, it's full of parasites, but it also has crocodiles and hippopotamuses, and they're very deadly. And so we can enjoy looking at it, but we really can't get in it. The staple food in Zimbabwe is cornmeal, and it's boiled into a very thick kind of mush that's stiffer than mashed potatoes. And it's stiff enough that they can roll it into a ball and dip it into the relish that we talked about earlier. We grow about 180 tons of corn each year to feed everyone, and it's an open pollinated variety. Not a big ear, but it'll make good cornmeal. And so this is what it takes, 180 tons. When we grow corn, the perception here in Africa is that white corn is for people and yellow corn is for livestock. And so we grow both, but we grow a lot of yellow. There's actually more nutrition in this, but the white maize is what everyone likes to eat. This is our small grinding mill. And we grind a lot of cornmeal in here. Some of it goes to the cattle, some of it goes for people. And it's a new mill that we've just installed, and it's working really well. And cornmeal is a staple here. It's called sadza, and everybody eats sadza every day. This is our milking parlor, and this is where the cows are milked by hand twice a day. And we get about 40 gallons of milk a day. Half of it goes back to the calves, half of it gets consumed by people. And you can see the whole process here. These are some of our young calves here at Eden. These little babies are the newcomers, and they're being weaned from their mothers, and they still get their mother's milk, but not directly from their mother. We milk the mothers, and then we keep half the milk, and half the milk goes back to the babies. And you can see their coats are shiny, they're very healthy and very happy. These chickens are just 2 weeks old. We buy them as day-old chicks, and then we feed them out 300 at a time. We finish 300 broilers every month, but this is what they look like when they're little. Now these chickens are about half grown. They're about 5 weeks old. We harvest them somewhere between 8 weeks and 10 weeks. And you can see they're growing very well, very happy, very active. They eat all day and sometimes in the night if the lights are on, but they get nice and fat. These birds are almost to killing age. They're just a little bit bigger than the last ones. And just keep in mind that we use 10 chickens every day, so it's 300 a month. We're in the egg house right now, and these hens are laying their eggs this morning. You can see with some of them that the egg is right there in the tray. Every hen is in her own cage. Every cage has a counter, and so we keep track of who's laying eggs and who isn't. And once they stop laying for a month, they get retired to the freezer. But you get about 320 to 360 eggs out of a chicken over a 2-year period, and these girls do a great job. We produce about 400 eggs a day, and the scary thing to me is that we actually eat 294,000 eggs in a year. Here in the layer house we have 600 layers in production. Once our food is grown, it's taken to the Agape Center, which is a commercial kitchen, and the food is crated for each individual cottage.